This is Singer, and I have with me Elmo, and this is Brutally Honest Talk Radio.
Welcome to Brutally Honest Talk Radio, where you will learn about an issue minus the BS. We don't always say what you want to hear, but what you need to hear about the issues of the day. Here's your host, Inger, along with Elmo, with his political insight and commentary.
How are you doing today, Elmo?
I am vanglorious. And how are you this evening?
Doing good, doing good. Thanksgiving is behind us now. We're full speed ahead to Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, yes. Well, tonight, you guys, we're going to cover a quote from Biden on healing and uniting. We're going to talk about Trump and conceding the election, and we're going to comment on a couple of tweets. So, Elmo, you can jump right in.
Trump conceding.
Mm-hmm.
Just heard something in the last few days that not that he conceded, but that he agreed on releasing the transition of power. That up until that point or that day, he had not, or he had instructed his people to not work with the Biden administration and start to transfer the power. I guess meaning the notes, the information, what needs to be passed on, briefing people, explaining to them what's going on, because the actual power that happens kind of in the snap of a finger.
Right.
Where as soon as Trump is gone, then the people that are working with him are also gone. And when Biden gets in there, then he can start to execute power or give instructions or authority to the people in his cabinet and on his staff.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some talk about this, and I wanted to talk about it because I have questions. That's one of the reasons. So conceding an election. As far as what do you know about this? Like after an election happens or in between the election and the inauguration, does the former president, right, if he was already in office and he would be leaving, does the former president have to concede? And when people talk about this or are complaining that he has not, are they saying that this will be a good or nice or a courteous formality for him to do this?
I think conceding is just a formality. I understand because as I remember, Stacey Abrams never conceded to Kemp. She constantly for 4 years, or for the last 2 years at least, she's saying it was stolen. So whether or not someone concedes obviously doesn't have any effect on the outcome of the election. I don't think Gore ever conceded to Bush. I don't think. So
yeah, so conceding to me, it's like an official speech that the candidate or the president gives when they speak to the country. Well, in that case, like Hillary, she left 100 million people waiting for her and never came out and said anything. She's supposed to come out on that stage and say something, and she was so devastated that she not only didn't on that day, but I never saw her come out and say anything after that.
Right.
All right. Speaking of Hillary, since I'm on that checker of the board, hey, we know she told Biden before the election, don't concede. Right. If you lose, don't do it. So I really don't care. And for the Democrat voters to focus on that, look, if they're not spoon-fed and they're actually going after knowledge and pursuing information, they can go and look and find out about things for the future. Now, it may be very hard to find out what's going to happen the day after the inauguration, because I have no idea what Biden and his administration are going to do.
Right.
I have no idea. Nothing specifically. I could tell
Right.
you a few, formalities between now and then, but I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do or what's going to happen. I would like to know. I'd like to look to the future. It would be nice, say in 3 months and 6 months, this is what Biden and his administration going to be. Even if I don't agree with it, for him to
Hmm.
lay it out, lay it on a line, and say this is what we're going to do. At least I would be talking about something in the future.
Right.
So this is Trump's personal thing, his personal fight, whether he wants to concede or not. And people are talking about it as if it's a legality, something that he has to do. But at the same time, the media is giving that attention when he
Hmm.
says that he believes that it's been a fraud or hoax or that he was cheated. They're choosing to give that attention. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
they are. They certainly are. So that's what people are going to focus on. Whatever the media thinks is important, and they think that is important. And I question if they believe that is important or if they're doing that as a quote unquote "we won" kind of thing. So I don't think it's as important to the people as it is to the media. Does
Yeah,
that make sense?
it
Yeah.
does. As you're saying that, I'm imagining when I was a kid and across the street from our house in this open field where there used to be a house, but we played there, played baseball, played football. Sometimes we get into fights, and one kid is wrestling another kid down on the ground and twisting his arm behind him and saying, "Say uncle."
Hmm.
So it's like they really want Trump to say uncle. Say you lost. Come
Yes.
on, say look, and we already know that Biden or somebody in his administration or one of the Democrats, when that day comes and Trump is walked to the helicopter, Rosie O'Donnell or somebody is gonna say, "You're fired."
Yes.
Okay. Donald Trump, if you can hear this message, get ready now. As soon as they say that, turn around, look over your shoulder, and say, "I'll be back." Hit them with a 1-2 right after that. They won't be able to handle it. You know,
Exactly. And
since they're
there are
gonna
rumors.
since they're
Hmm.
gonna get into stuff like that. That's his tagline. That's from his
Yes.
show. You gonna turn around and use it
Yes.
on him? You know,
Exactly. It's so unoriginal. And if I'm not mistaken, there are rumors. I don't know if it's true yet, but there are rumors that if none of this pans out as he would like it to, then he's going to use Inauguration Day to announce his 2024 run. Don't know if it's true. I've just been hearing it. So,
okay. That Trump will do that. Yeah,
yes. Yep.
that'll be good.
It would be. And I don't
You
put it
know
past
what?
him.
Trump is a guy that the media love to hate.
Yes.
And we know all the attention that they gave. They tuned in. I mean, this is going back too far. Talk about the Republican convention when they were still fighting for the nominee to see who was going to get it. The the media and the channels and the people that hate Trump, they were covering that thing and tuning in, hoping that he would say something funny and outrageous and offensive. Hoping.
Yes. Hmm.
And like I said, after the election, 6 months, 9 months from now, uh, the media is still going to come to him and give him an opportunity to speak.
Hmm.
I mean, he's not a I don't want to say he's not a private guy, but he's not a person who's shy about going out in public. And now let's talk about this quote. This is in the last couple of days, saw this quote from Biden. All right, so
Okay.
Biden said, and I quote, "Let's begin the work to heal and unite America and the world." End quote.
Okay. Why are we trying to unite the world? It's my first question. That doesn't make sense. If you're the president of America, again, America first, then the world, not that you don't care about them, but in this context, they're secondary. Two, how are you going to unite when one, we can't agree on whether or not he's the winner? No one. We're still trying to figure that out. And number three, I'm sorry, I just did number two. Number three,
There's so many.
yeah, right. How are you going to unite? America's split down the middle. We are split down the middle. I mean, how are you going to take this other half that wants nothing to do with you and say, well, you need to unite with me? Well, no, you just spent the last 4 years telling us everything was fake. We were wrong. We were stupid. We're racist. We're all these sorts of things. So why would we want to unite behind someone that thinks of us like that? Makes no sense. And those are just my top three right now. Those three off the top of my head right now. So
Yeah.
I don't, you don't unite with people who have a disdain for you. You can't unite with them. And it's phony. It's very disingenuous, and it's hypocritical. It's hypocritical. We have people burning down things in the street. We have people attacking other people, and then attacking Congress people. When they go out and eat with their family, there are no boundaries. There are no borders. And now you want to unite? Too late. Not going to happen.
The first words that come to mind for me are lofty and unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
This unreachable, unattainable goal that's somewhere between 1,000 and 1,000,000 miles away. Let's begin the work. I'm trying to, my brain can be all over the place. So I'm going there's so much I want to say, but I'll start with saying just the word heal. Mm-hmm. Heal, like Donald Trump, like lacerated America, like laid it open, like cut it with a shiv. And I'm going to heal what he did. I'm going to fix the wrong that he did, because so many people are hurting. Their feelings are hurt because of the things that Trump said. And then also, with the racial tension and the rioting and everything, he thinks he's gonna heal that and heal the hurt. And it's just it is disingenuous, because you're giving people, that is truly a false hope.
Yes.
There's a better chance that we're going to come up with a cure for COVID-19 in 3 months than race relations will get better in the next 4 years. There's a better chance of that. Mm-hmm. I actually literally have more hope in the pharmacists in doing that job, not the pharmacists, in the scientists doing that job, than I do Biden somehow changing the hatred. What is he gonna say to change or take away the hatred for conservatives and Republicans? What can he do?
It's a very good question. And has he said anything that he was going to do?
No.
No. So it's talk. That's all it is. It's just empty words. So.
And it's very non-specific. Mm-hmm. Very non-specific. Let's meaning, let apostrophe S, that is let us, meaning you and me, begin the work. What is the work? What is the work? Okay, let us, like you and me together, come on. You can come into the White House and sit on my lap, or throw out a nice tablecloth and have a picnic, and we will do this together. No, that's not going to happen. If it is, let us and not you, Biden. What can I do? What can I do? One person, except just the people that I, 1 degree of separation away from, that I know personally. right?
Right.
So that's the
Right.
one thing is a heal is an interesting word, and then uh yeah, and unite America and the world. You're gonna unite the world, God. You know, you're gonna unite that's amazing. Great
Oh my
Britain,
gosh.
Great Britain left the European Union, and they're a part of Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna bring all of that together. You're gonna make North Korea and Spain, they're gonna play tiddlywinks, and France and Russia, they're gonna play shoots and ladders. Everybody come together now. Let's see, we got 205 countries left to unite. We're gonna unite the now. I know that some of these people seriously, honestly want to do the one world order and have
Yeah.
one economic system, and you may try to have one world government. I don't know if that's what he means, but we're going to unite the world. We know Jesus is going to come back. The rapture will happen. He'll go home, and then Armageddon will happen after that, and
Mm-hmm.
we still won't be united. Whether that's 5 years from now or 500.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. Well, that's the same, um, I guess, ideology when Obama came in. I think he made a speech, something to the effect, we're going to heal the oceans and climate change is going to end and everything because he was elected. It's like, really, people? Talk about
Yes.
grandiose.
All of the fish are gonna swim together in perfect unison, and the sharks and the dolphins are gonna stop fighting each other. I mean, why didn't he just say the lion's gonna lay down with the lamb?
Exactly.
This is gonna happen while I'm in office. There will be peace on earth. I mean, let's just be realistic. I'm a hopeful, positive person. But the things that I'm hoping for and the things that I want for America, I know that we can have them because at one time or another in the past, we did have them.
Mhm.
So I know it's possible. I know what the economy can do, what it can be. I know how life can be, how the family can be, and how businesses can do.
Yes.
But they're talking about stuff that's never happened in the history of humanity.
Hmm.
So much for that. Um,
Yeah. They're going to
I,
bring it
uh,
up.
I gotta compliment and pay tribute to Michael Savage of the
Okay.
Savage Nation. Has been on radio and had podcasts for many years. I first heard him over 10 years ago, and there was a theme or a tagline that he used to say then, which is liberalism is a disease.
Hmm.
Talking about the way that people think and the
Hmm.
thinking of that. And he was right. It is a disease that starts in your mind, ravages your brain, and works its way down.
Exactly. It really, folks there, I think Ann Coulter called it a mental disorder. Liberalism is a mental
That's the
disorder.
second thing I was going to say.
Hmm.
It's a
Yeah.
it's a mental illness.
Hmm. That's what they're calling it. And it's not introspective. All it
Yeah.
does is lash out, and I don't want to go so far as say it's hate, because hate is a really strong word. But in some cases it may be. They just hate, and I think it's more envy than anything else, and
Mm,
entitlement is but yeah, they called it that's what Ann Coulter called it. Liberalism is a mental disorder. She has a book
yeah.
with the same title.
That's the name of the book.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right. That's right. Now, mental illness or someone who's delusional, they can feel good. They can have euphoria. I mean, they could be living in a fantasy, meaning it doesn't exist, but it's still You know what I'm saying? You comprehend everything that's going on in the fantasy film. You're following it. It's something that you may want to happen, and it feels good. But just for you to think along those lines is delusional and unrealistic.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
wanted to say that he was right, and ever since I heard him say that, I've been learning more and more over the years that he's been right about it.
Hmm.
Read a few tweets, over the last few days, and one of the things I saw from Twitter was just funny. You could probably find this on other places besides Twitter, but someone had a post uh, about Biden or against Biden, and instead of cream of wheat, it said cream of cheat, and it had Biden's face on the cream of wheat chef on the black man. Like they still had the hands were still black, but he's
Uh-huh.
holding up a bowl of steaming cream of wheat, and it just got Biden's face there. But it looks it's like a cartoon face, so it looks better than if it was a real photo,
Right.
because the picture on the cover of the box is a cartoon or a drawing, you know. So
Yes.
look that up. Look that up. So I want to say, because this first show, the first episode that we've done after Thanksgiving, I want to say that leading up to Thanksgiving, the CDC and many news outlets were talking about don't travel on Thanksgiving, and I appreciate the concern, and it is a suggestion. And I've always believed, I've said 3 months ago, 6 months ago, to be safe, but go on with your life.
Hmm.
And then we saw Trump get sick with the virus. And then when he came out of it, and made a public appearance, one of the first things he said was, "Don't let it dominate your life.
Yes.
Go
Sure
on
did.
with your life." And that's what I've chosen to do. I'm not going to criticize people. People need to do things at their comfort level, because when you force someone to do something, even if you think that they really don't have any reason to be scared, if you force them to do it, bad things happen then too. When people are
Yes.
pressured and they're scared, like, bad things
Hmm.
come out of that. And my sister, she traveled and came down here with her daughter, came down here to Atlanta from Michigan. It was bad in Michigan. And she works as a 911 dispatcher. And this was like in the late spring, early summer. She told me that 300 police officers had COVID-19.
Oh my goodness.
And at that rate, we know that probably three or four of them died.
Hmm.
But they're out on the street. They're coming in contact with people. I'm sure many of them gave it to each other. And
Oh.
Michigan was bad. So yeah, I just want to say about that. I refuse to be scared.
Hmm.
And when I say that, I'm talking about with anxiety or worrying about what might maybe could happen tomorrow or next week. That's a bad thing. Just deal with what we know and what's right in front of you. And fear is a choice. It is. And you have a choice. When I say that, not only in our actions and what we do, but you have a choice whether or not you're going to feel scared. Because that's really where everything emanates from. That's the root of your actions that you take. So if someone is feeling scared and they push themselves through something that they feel that they must do, that's very brave. But you don't want fear to dominate your life.
Hmm.
Okay, and so she came here on Tuesday. The Saturday before, she got tested for COVID-19.
Okay.
And I called her the week before, and I just told her that, look, things are going to be a little different now. No, you're a very social person and you want to visit and do this and do that. And I asked her when last time she got tested. She said May. And I said, do me a favor if you can and try to get tested before coming down. I
Okay.
tried also, because if I tested positive, I wouldn't want her to come.
Right.
So, ironically, well, you look up places you can go for testing, and Walgreens, one of the ones that came up. I'm near it. Not every Walgreens does it, right?
Right.
But it'll show you the ones that do. And so it asks you a survey. I answered the questions, and it was asking about how I'm feeling and how well I was doing,
Right.
and I was good on everything. And then it said, and then at the end of it, it said, based on your answers, you qualify for the testing. And I said, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't have any symptoms or anything. But then it said, uh, like it said, book your date, the date
Okay.
that you go and get tested. So that was like on Monday, and I was going to try to go Wednesday or Friday. And it said
Okay.
everything is booked up. So I
Oh
couldn't get
wow.
tested because like you had to get in line just to get
Mm-hmm.
tested,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then because of where my sister works, her job, they required, because she got on a plane, they said you can't come back to work unless you get tested again. So,
Okay.
by the way, it took 2 days. They're supposed to email her the results from that Saturday, and so
Mm-hmm.
Monday comes around,
And
they
still no
still
results?
right, it still wasn't emailed to her.
Wow.
But then, like the next day, the day she was flying here, at some point before she got on the plane, she got the email saying that she tested negative. Okay,
Okay.
good
Good.
thing. All right. And then, like some reports in the news were saying, you can test negative. They didn't say you test negative but still have it, but I did hear that you could have it, test negative, and then it take a couple days before it would show up on a test or you feel the symptoms. So I was kind of like, well, what's the point then? What's the point of
Right.
getting tested if I'm still not going to trust it? Okay. And then like this is Monday. She went back early Saturday afternoon, and then when she got like she got tested yesterday, Sunday, and tested
Okay.
negative again. You know,
Okay.
I think it was brave and courageous for her, and it was a lot of people. It was
Mm-hmm.
so good thing about that, you can't stop the spirit of people that want to travel and be free and see family.
Right.
You just can't stop it. And I was surprised, even early in the morning it was a lot of people there. But the other thing or last thing I'll say about it is, so she got back and then got tested again Sunday, and that was with her job, and the results were the same day, and negative again.
Okay.
So that's good. But
That's good.
just
Yeah.
how really, I don't know if she really gave much thought to it, but just I thought it's courageous. She really putting herself at risk by going through an airport, you
Mm-hmm.
know, more so than getting on a plane because of just all the people there. And I thought that was the biggest risk for her.
Exactly. And piggyback on what you're saying is true. Freedom involves risk. And like you said earlier, do what you're comfortable doing. I know in particular, my family didn't get together this year. And even though Thanksgiving is our big thing, my aunt and uncle decided not to have it this year. And that's fine. Like you said, do what you're comfortable with. You can't mandate that people do one thing or another in regards to family get togethers. One thing I would say is for people who feel particularly lonely, because I know this can be a lonely time of year for people, or feel isolated or don't have that support system, then go ahead and travel if you need to, because this pandemic, what was it? What was he saying? That the cure can't be worse than the disease. And from what I've read, there have been an increase in suicides, in loneliness, in depression, and all of these things that are taking people down because of this. So, with that, again, go and see people if you need to. I mean, just don't be home alone in despair, because that's not a good place either. And he said you're not going to live in fear. Absolutely. And for people who are down and not feeling well, then they have to decide which is worse. Which, by selecting one thing, you're consciously deselecting the other. So either you're going to select the fear and be afraid and depressed and not see your people, or you're going to conquer that fear and go see your people, feel better, get better, and connect with others. And that's what needs to be done. And like I said, this has been definitely an unusual, extraordinary year for everything that has gone on. And I think this holiday season, again, regular holiday season would be tough for people, but especially this year, do what you got to do. Do what you have to do. Go see your people. You need to. Go see your friends, your family, whoever. Just connect with somebody else so you don't feel alone. Wear your mask, keep going, and don't fear. That's
That's
just
true.
it. Hmm.
That's
You
true. That's
really
true.
do. You got to. Do you have any final thoughts for us?
Well, I was thinking, based on something that Biden said
Hmm.
after it came out that Trump was positive for the virus. And he
Okay.
said anybody who doesn't believe in or doesn't respect social distancing and wearing a mask, they deserve what they get.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
He said that while he was in Walter Reed,
Okay.
when nobody knew how bad it was.
Was wow.
This is what Biden said. So trying to be fair and even and comparing apples to apples, this is what I say.
Hmm.
Anybody who has access to a vaccine for COVID-19 and doesn't take it, they deserve what they get.
Hmm.
Now, there are exceptions to the rules, of course. And there are people who can have allergic reactions to different
Right.
things. When I go and I donate plasma, they ask me every time if I'm allergic to iodine.
Hmm.
I never have been in my life. But if they're asking me that, then there's obviously some people who are and have had violent reactions.
Yes.
So I'm not talking about where people they decide because of medical reasons or their doctor, they look at the ingredients in the vaccine and they know a condition of a person and saying this wouldn't be good for you. This was
Yes.
actually work against you. I'm talking
Right.
about people that are playing politics or they're scared because I heard people saying I don't donate blood. I don't donate blood to the Red Cross because I don't want to get AIDS from the needle,
Oh
you know.
goodness. I thought we've already determined a long time ago that that's not
Yeah,
how that happens.
yeah. Right,
Wow.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's I think that's a good note to end on because Moderna or the Pfizer vaccine, one of them is supposed to be ready by the end of the year,
Okay,
you know,
right.
in the
Yes.
middle of the winter, the dead of winter. So, hey, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I
Gotcha.
know that this stuff has to be tested, you know.
Hmm.
And even if I wanted, there's no way that I could be the first in line. If I was trying to be first in line, there'd be at least 1,000 who would take it before me.
Right. Right.
And if anything goes sideways, believe me, the media is gonna jump on it, and we're gonna hear about that.
They
But
certainly will.
Inger, percentages matter.
Mm-hmm.
So the percentage of people that take this and have a violent reaction, or let's say it doesn't do anything for them and they still catch it, it matters whether that's 1%, 5%, 10%.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it mattered that 1% of the people that got COVID died from it, which is very different from 10% of the people that get it die. That's going to help to determine my behavior and how I'm living.
That's
So
true.
numbers and percentages matter.
They certainly do. They certainly do. And like you said, I think they're gonna do the or distribute the vaccine according to the most vulnerable, like the first responders being doctors and nurses and that sort of thing, and hospitals, and then on down the line from there. So
Hey,
yeah.
can I
Mhm.
also jump in with one more tweet I meant to read?
Sure.
One more thing, right? Just thought this was funny. So I didn't take note of this person's name, but because Biden had an accident where he was playing with his dog or he was doing something
Yes.
and
Yes.
he broke his foot, or cracked, bone in his foot.
Hmm.
So speaking of that, this person said Biden twisted his ankle playing with a dog. My president beat COVID like it was nothing. Built differently. I don't want to start thinking like a conspiracy theory person. In other
Hmm.
words, I don't want my mind or my imagination to get ahead of the facts that I have.
Right.
So let me put it like this. I hope that this hairline fracture in his foot isn't going to turn into something worse, where he's going to be in a wheelchair, or something where it leads to something else. It leads to something else. It leads to something worse, where the Democrats say, well, the condition that Biden is in now, he can't go on. So we may as well just usher on in Senator Harris. Hey, Kamala, come on. The White House is ready for you. Come on. We're going to do this a little earlier than we thought. It's been changing plans. You know, I,
You know.
because I don't know. Somebody had a video of this motorcade taking him to the hospital, but if he's not walking around and it seems like he went back to the basement, and they're still mentioning any physical or medical stuff after this, then we'll know.
Yeah, he does not project strength. Let's just put it that way. He's frail. He and I don't feel that is the image that America needs right now. So hopefully we've got our fingers crossed that this is a temporary condition. And thank you for listening to this episode of Brutally Honest Talk Radio. Leave a review for us wherever you listen to this podcast. And remember to subscribe on YouTube and hit that notification button so you'll know when a new episode is uploaded. And with that, we hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving, and we will talk to you next time.
Yeah, thank you for your time, everybody, and we'll catch you on the next episode. Take care.
Thank you for listening to Brutally Honest Talk Radio. If there's a topic you'd like us to cover, reach out at bruthonest@gmail.com. That's BRUT, honestradio@gmail.com.